I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
Bruh, it's a busy day in the black world, but it's a very insightful day. You know, it wasn't not even 3 weeks ago that every black woman was on the internet saying that Shannon Sharpe should have known better. He should have picked better. A black woman would never accuse him of nothing. A black woman would never send him to jail. A black woman would never line him up and call the police on him and make him out. It's because she's white. Oh, it was a young white girl. You should have known, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck, bro. Today, the black woman stock, I'm talking about the nosedive they took today rivals that of the 2008 real estate crash. Okay, the nosedive the black woman stock took reminds me of, I don't know, when the tech bubble burst in Silicon Valley back in 2007. That's the last time I seen a dive like this. So let's see here. We're going to go over a few people today, but let's just go ahead and bring up the topics at first. DDG, Tory Lanez, Diddy, Young Scooter. There's like 3 other brothers that we can bring up right now, but I don't even know how much time we're going to have. I wanted to keep the video remotely short, but we'll see what we can do. So let's start off with Tory Lanez. You know, do you know how many black women called me every name? They called me everything but a son of Jesus. When I told them that this case doesn't make sense, Tory Lanez did not shoot that goddamn girl. For one thing, that's not black men's MO. Also, he's a fucking Canadian. He's not even shooting the breeze with you. He's definitely not shooting a fade, and he's not shooting a gun. Not at a woman, and not telling her to dance, bitch. Like they're in some Western in the Wild West. And this is not the movie Tombstone. He's not Val Kilmer. And the other guy is not the guy that was in Aliens. That never happened. There was a witness. There was a man who was actually right across the street. He's seen 2 women fighting over a gun. Then he's seen a small man come over there, take the gun. But the women were already shooting at the ground. You got Megan Thee Stallion, who's known to be a blackout drunk alcoholic. And now that I live in Houston, I know why. All these women down here in Houston are alcoholics because it's not like California. It's not like Arizona. It's not like Vegas. It's not like any other city where there's checkpoints everywhere and police constantly pulling people over and harassing them. In Houston, bro, the city is so wonderful and laid back and cool. You never see problems here in Houston. Not in the beautiful, nice areas. I'm sure if you drive an hour and a half into the toilet, you can find some bullshit, but in the civilized parts of the city, it's a beautiful place and there's no police. So people really just drink and drive here because there's no consequences. Sorry, that's bacon. Being down here in Texas, the mosquito zapper is buzzing and it drives my English bulldog, Mr. Bacon, it drives him crazy. So anyway, that's how you know you're from Houston. These women drink and they don't think they'll never get pulled over. So they just do it like it's legal. They drink and drive. So a lot of women I've met have a really bad drinking problem that are from here in Houston. It just comes with the city. She ends up saying that Tory shot her. Now, there was no physical evidence linking him to the weapon, no residue on him. They refused to test everybody else in the car. This is the kicker. They actually convict this man. They convict this man with no actual evidence against him. Then all of a sudden, somebody goes to the police. Actually, I think it's the Innocence Project. This man's going to explain. And he was actually with Kelsey when she admitted to someone else what she did. He brings the new evidence to Tory's defense team. The defense team reaches out to Megan, what's her last name? Page? Megan Page's defense team. And then magically the next fucking day, randomly, some Mexican dude tries to stab Tory Lanez into prison. Now, I'm from California. There are rules. Mexicans are not stabbing blacks willy-nilly. Blacks aren't just packing out Mexicans or whites willy-nilly because it will start a race war. Typically, when someone has to get disciplined and they're a part of a different race, you go to their OGs in the prison and they will discipline him on your behalf, or they'll probably kill him on your behalf, depending on what the debt is or what the problem is. You're not unilaterally just going and stabbing someone of a different race on your own. That's not how it works, because that could literally start a race war. And it's all politics when you get into prison. It's not just every man for himself like in the movies. It's actually very structured. The jails are no man's land. It's a Thunderdome at any given time. But once you make it to the pen, it's different. Tory Lanez wasn't known for being a troublemaker. He was just he comes out, he does his routine, he work out, he goes back in. They were trying to pretend that he was having too much resources, bringing resources for the blacks, giving more blacks money. And in essence, that gives them more power. And it was kind of throwing the balance off in jail. And don't get me wrong, that is a plausible explanation. However, when you find out that only one day prior, the timing, I don't believe in coincidences. The timing is superb. That magically, after it turns out that there's new evidence in the case that could get him exonerated, someone literally tries to murder him, stabbed 14 times. Not one, but 2 of his lungs collapsed. Tupac died from a collapsed lung. They couldn't save him. So this man had 2 collapsed lungs. He's lucky to be alive. He wasn't supposed to make it. This man is a talented artist, a singer, a rapper with 2 damaged lungs. I'm sure that's going to affect his ability to make music in his career. But when I tell you that lawsuit against the California DLC, Department of Corrections, against the state of California and Gavin Newsom, these lawsuits are going to be massive. It's also a perversion of justice that he was even convicted in the first place. And he should have already won an appeal because there was a lack of evidence. This was an emotional push to convict him. A black woman gets up there, cries, and lies. And the reason she's lying is because she really couldn't remember. A hyper-violent, unaccountable black woman who attacked him. He actually tried to save her by taking the gun away from the girl that was actually shooting at her, which was her own friend. People don't understand the details in that case. Tory Lanez was dating Megan Thee Stallion's friends. Megan Thee Stallion's friend Kelsey was dating Tory already. Kelsey thought she caught the fake virus, but really she just had a summer cold and she couldn't hang out. So guess what Tory did? Hung out with Megan. Then he started smashing little bitty Tory Lanez. Was tearing that big old Bigfoot ass woman up. Anyway, Kelsey gets better. They all 3 are together. They go to Kylie Jenner's house. Tory is a celebrity. He's trying to holler at Kylie too. Megan thinks that she's actually bigger than the program and he should only want to talk to her, not really realizing that he's a bigger artist than her. But anyway, so he wants to stay at the party. They want to leave. She gets herself smacked drunk, goes back in there to get him. You guys already know how it goes. Women want the men of whoever their friends have. So if you're a woman and you're single and you have a friend that's married, you're going to try to sleep with your friend's husband. That's just how it goes nowadays. Don't let these women lie to you. They sleep with their friends' boyfriends, their friends' husbands, anybody that's attached to somebody they know. That's just how it goes. So Megan wanted what her friend had because she probably feels like she's the celebrity. What did she do to help catapult her career? Is she became a victim. They literally promoted her. Everyone knew her name. Everyone wanted to kill him and fight him. The dude is about 5'4", not even 5'5". He's a tiny man, and he's Canadian, one of the most polite people you've ever met on earth. and they put him in a prison full of huge California gangbangers and killers. He's only been in there 509 days. 1 year and 9 months he's been in there, and he's already almost dead for a crime he didn't commit. Falsely accused by a black woman. But Rico Shannon Sharp, he shouldn't have been. Shut the fuck you and your bullshit nonsense lies about white women are more. No. He would have still been alive if he was dating a white woman. If he was only dealing with white women or women from other races, he would still be free. Look at what's going on right now with DDG. Now, DDG's case, it's hilarious because, no one wants to think about reality. The thing that you would say about some of these women is they look real good. They have a tan, they got ass, they got nice toned legs, they got these lips. They have like this look to them that's beautiful. But what did we learn in the 80s? Don't let it drive you out. She's poison. Never trust a big butt and a smile. And what does my stupid ass do sometimes? I trust a big butt and shit. Even if you ain't got no teeth, I'm still gonna be like, look, here goes my wallet. You want my social? As long as I'm about to smack, I'm shallow. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody or my advice is better. I'm just trying to tell people, be better than me. You don't have to be like Rico, okay? You can get therapy, there's classes. Don't make my mistakes. But DDG couldn't help it. I just looked at a video of Halle Berry, and I was like, that's her. She's literally on a boat, and she's on a boat, and she's talking, and she just jumps in the water. She got a fat ass. I'm like, what kind of mermaid got cheeks like this? Like, where are your fins, ma'am? But this is the funny part. They will sit here and they'll talk about this man, and they're going to pretend like what he said, what she's saying about him is true, right? But there's literally a video of her talking about how she's an abusive girlfriend. She beats and attacks the men she's with. She's talking about this because she will never be accountable. She'll never get arrested. She'll never go to jail. She's never going to lose custody of her child because a man is not going to want to go and cry the victim and make himself look weak, especially with a man with an audience like his. It's just not a good look. Again, like I said, Chris Brown never told us why him and Rihanna were fighting that day, even though she's mentioned that she was going upside his head and they were fighting each other. She just got the short end of the stick, which most women will. No homo, no Diddy. But they're going to get the short end of the stick because they're not men. You think you're a man until a man kicks your ass. But this is a woman whose eyes are, her eyes are spread open, and she has like this look to her. She looks dangerous to me, but she got a fat ass and she's kind of cute. So your guard goes down and your brain turns off because your dick overrides your brain. Men, we have to be better than this. We have to be smarter than this. We can't keep falling for this trap. But go ahead. This is 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes of her admitting how she beats and attacks men.
Relationship, I think that just attachment style. Everybody knows I'm an Aries. I'm a fire sign.
She says she's an Aries. She's a fire sign.
And I get very passionate. Seem nice online.
I get very passionate. I only seem nice on the internet.
And innocent and everything.
I seem nice and innocent.
But you guys do not know. I would go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything.
I'll go to battle with my words and my yelling, everything. So that means she has a mouth on her. She knows how to talk shit to you because there's a 8 out of 10 chance you won't swing and knock her ass out. She knows this and she uses that against men. I'm good at talking shit to men, is what she's basically saying. She's not getting in women's face and talking crazy because a woman can slap her in her mouth. And, well, who are you going to say is the man? You can't say someone's beating you because it's 2 women. But with a man, she knows she can push any button she wants and get away with it.
And if I gotta yell or check anyone, that's what I gotta do. It's just the way I be. Clap back or sit back. I always have to choose clap back. I'm sorry. I'm a very kind person. If somebody pokes at me or the people that I love, it's over for you. I'm an Aries. Sorry.
An Aries. It's crazy. I was with an Aries the other night, and she tried to swear she wasn't this aggressive, borderline gay stud that just pretends to like men because she doesn't want to be gay. But most Aries women I've met are extremely masculine, and I think she's battling with that. It sounds like she wants to be a nice and kind person, but then again, she's not a nice and kind person, so she's contradicting herself already. Have I ever started drama with my boyfriend for no reason? This is her talking about this man in advance. Women are creatures of habit. She has a pattern.
I'm territorial. I'm a jealous girlfriend. I'm a territorial girlfriend. Where you go, who are you with?
I'm jealous. I'm territorial. Where do you go? Who are you with? Who the fuck are you talking to? Your son or your man? Like, and then these women wonder why everybody just smashes them and kicks them to the curb. I don't care how pretty she is, and if she got a little bit of money, men are still hitting it and quitting it because they are a headache. These women are dangerous, and you're going to see how dangerous they are when we go look into DDG's life right now.
That's me. I am nosy, number one. And number two, I like drama. I just don't like drama in my life, but I love watching it in other people's. So
I love drama.
much. I need him with me in order to function, in order to be able to do the scenes and everything. So he's been out here with me the majority of the time. But this week, and I go home on the weekends. But this week, I had a lighter week, and I'm going home tomorrow. So I got here last night, and I'm going home tomorrow. So I was like, let me try to test myself and see if I can be without him for a day and leave him, let him and his daddy.
I'm going to let him be with his dad. She's already plotting on taking his kid away. You know, this plays into what a living prophet that we have right now on earth by the name of Sir Charleston White. He recently said that if you're having a child with a black woman that's no longer your child, let her go and let the child go as well. And people gasped in the audience, but not men at home who know what it's like to be with black women and to have children with them. Like Charleston White said, if she says the kid doesn't have your last name, it doesn't have your last name. If she said the kid can't go with you anywhere or spend time with you alone with your family, the kid won't ever be with you or your family. Basically, it's her kid. She makes all the decisions. You have no say so. And if you try to get access to your kid, she can just simply make up a story about you, accuse you of abuse, and the police and law and the courts will make sure that you have no custody of your child and you are restricted from seeing them. Charleston White called this and said this in advance, and it applies to pretty much every situation you see when it comes to black men who are having children with black women specifically. Why you look at the NBA and these other sports teams, and you'll see that the black dad and the star athlete and who has the father in his life, his moms are white. All those dudes you see in the NBA right now, all their moms are white for the most part. They all have a white mother. You think these men didn't figure out that there was a pattern years ago? It's just unpopular speech. Nobody wants to say it. I say it. You know, that's how I got popular in the first place. I just want to talk about things. If I'm wrong, correct me. But if you're going to correct me, you have to be able to counter me. So you're going to have to show me something. I'm going to need to see some evidence, some proof. I'm going to need to see something that shows that I don't know what I'm talking about. Again, this was already called in advance and it plays out like this. So if you're still willing to have children with black women after hearing this, then it's kind of at your own risk and it's your fault. And it's really hard for me to feel sorry for you. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I don't feel sorry for DDG because a friend of mine by the name of Blueface, who I know personally, literally is on a video 3 years ago, a year before he met this woman. And DDG is talking cocky, like, man, if I get a girl pregnant, she's going to be with me forever and blah, blah, blah. And Blueface is like, yeah, all right. And he explains to him, bro, it's not up to you. She can get jealous of you with other women or this and this and decide that and say that you did something to her and take the kid away. Or matter of fact, say you and her break up, but you're still paying her bills. But what if she want to bring another nigga to the house? You going to be cool with that? You know, one thing that men have a hard time accepting, because I guess we were wired to assume that all women are loyal, is you have to accept the fact that you don't control her. You don't even own her. You're barely renting her. You might not even be renting her. It just might be your turn with her. She's not committed to you. At any given time, she can go decide to be with somebody else. Do you know how many men wake up and find out that their wife just filed a no-fault divorce against him? And he's like, I don't know what happened. I'm blindsided. There were no signs. We went to the movies 3 days ago. But it's a no-fault divorce. She doesn't have to have a reason. And if you make her make up one, she will. She'll say that you hit her, even though you never touched her. And guess what law enforcement will do? They'll say it's a civil matter, but because she called on you first, they will remove you from the house. What do you think is happening to DDG right now behind this woman? Let's see here. Matter of fact, you know who did a good breakdown of this? Myron Gaines actually was talking about the DDG situation, and they don't even get along. DDG, Myron, they don't even get along with each other. But he wanted to bring up, yeah, this is funny as shit right here. He also brought up that this woman is doing is bad.
And I think she's lying. I give it $1,000 with y'all. I think she's lying so she can get custody of the kid, right?
I'll be honest with you. I've never not heard of a nasty custody battle between with a woman. Well, I don't care what race she is. Custody battles are nasty because whoever can accuse the other first of being a drug addict, an abuser, or anything, that's who's going to get custody. Whoever has custody can also get financial compensation for having the kid. So it's in their best interest to make up something about you, whether it's true or not. Now, this woman is already admitting that she's aggressive and she hits men. She's violent with men. This guy is a fighter. If DDG beat up Haley Bailey, you would have known. It wouldn't have been some obscure a picture of her arm that's kind of fuzzy. You can't really see it. Or she's saying he chipped her. You wouldn't, if a dude who's actually a fighter punched her and broke her tooth, he would have broke her face. The lip busted, eye busted, everything busted. Bro, that little bitty chipped tooth, you could have got that from accidentally biting a spoon when you're at Cheesecake Factory in Vegas at 3 o'clock in the morning drunk and you're trying to eat something. That's not from somebody punching you. You don't get broken teeth or a little chipped tooth when somebody's hitting you. A big, strong man, that's a fighter. Get the fuck out of here. So that's why I agree with Myron on this. Let's hear what Myron said. Myron's also a current modern day prophet.
I'm gonna let my dislike for DDG lie on his name. I think this bitch lying. I'm gonna get that show. And there's no reason to even say that. Like, me and him are enemies. But I'll be fucking damned if some bitch is gonna lie on a guy to keep him away from his kid. She's been doing this shit for a minute. All right? Like, she's been doing this shit for a minute, trying to keep him from his son. So I think that this is a play to keep her from the son. Having a restraining order against your baby dad is one of the best ways to make sure that you get 100% custody. I've seen the game, baby. I've seen the game. So I'm not going to let my disagreements or my dislike of DDG cloud my judgment. Fuck that bitch. She's probably lying. I catch you, Goro, $10. They're going to go viral next right now for defending DDG. DDG's community are all agreeing with you. Yeah, bro. Look, man, I think she's lying. I give it $1,000 with y'all. I think she's lying so she can get custody of the kid, right? I'm not going to let my dislike for DDG lie on his name. I think this bitch lying. I'm going to get $1,000 with y'all. And I don't reason to even say that. Like, me and him are enemies, but I'll be fucking damned if some bitch is gonna allow a guy to keep him away from his kid. She's been doing this shit for a minute. All right.
Now, this is the crazy part. According to her, he beat her up in January, but she didn't call the police. She didn't make a report. There's no evidence, and she did not actually make a report or try to get a restraining order against him until May. Why? Why would you wait till May? If you were, it's not like you're trying to protect him or you love him. You don't give a shit about him. You guys aren't even together. But what it is she's seen him with other women. She's like, oh, just like these other women. Oh, I don't want my kid around your other hoes. This your other girl. Even though she's now allegedly dating another singer, Brent Faiyaz, and she wants to fly with his son to go film a movie and stay with this other guy with his baby. And because of the restraining order now, he cannot see his kid. It has to be a supervised visit, and I think once a week. You know, I'm watching this man on stream and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, you can just see the depression and the sadness, because this is what some of these women do. They wait for you to fall in love with your kid, and then they take your kid from you. The men who are nonchalant and don't give a fuck if they see their kids and they're like, yeah, kid Schmidt, if I want a kid, I'll make another one. Those women never threaten to take a kid away because he doesn't give a fuck. You don't got to threaten to take the kid away. I don't give a fuck if I have the kid or not. But for the good men, a lot of them are men who probably come from families that didn't have a dad. So they go out of their way to not be like their dad, and they want to overcompensate, and they let women play them out of their position behind the kid. These men become extremely depressed, suicidal. Some of them actually commit suicide. They drink to cope with the pain. They go upstairs and they sleep in their kids' rooms and they cry and they're hurt. And you see DDG going through that right now because of a fucking black woman, not a 19-year-old OnlyFans model, not a Caucasian chick, not a woman. All these fucking names these black chicks been calling these white girls because of one Shannon Sharp. For every one Shannon Sharp, there's 1,000 DDGs. I don't want to hear it. I don't.
I feel like I'm honestly getting bullied, you know, when it comes to me just wanting to just be a dad. Y'all know how much like I love Halo. It's literally the best thing that ever happened to me. And this is literally my last resort. I feel like I don't have no type of like shit hurt, bro. Like no type of say so. And I keep getting this word thrown around like this. I don't give a fuck if this make me seem childish. I just want to be able to see my son when I want to see my son, take my son when I want to take my son. Like, I don't care if this make me look childish. If I look like I'm on the internet crazy, whatever the fuck, I don't care, bro. Like, I don't care what nobody.
I'll be honest with you. It's a shame that you saying you want to be able to have access to your very own child, a son at that you let the internet convince you that that's childish. No, it's not, dude. Ain't nothing childish about that at all. That's normal. That's how it should be. What it shouldn't be is a woman has the option to decide when and where you can become, or when you can and cannot be a father on her terms, when she wants it, when she's ready, and she knows how to manipulate the system and the public. And here you are, you're just a guy. You know, you're not prepared for, you know, and he's a guy that's in the public figure. He has a lot of fans. He gets trolled. And guys like him, right? They read the comments. Everyone's going to have something to say about you. And eventually, you know, it's weird when you're somebody that has a little bit of fame, you never see the compliments people give you. You only see the negative stuff they say. And it piles up. That's when the drinking and the drugs and the numbing comes in to deal with the pain. And people are like, what are you feeling sad about? You got all this money, you got all these fans. And it's like, who gives a shit about that? You want to see your kid. Now, if he is smart, he'll listen to Charleston White. And I know this is not going to sound great, but he would just let this kid go. I know you love Halo, but guess what? One day, God willing, Halo will be 14 years old. He's going to see what his mom is and what she's trying to do to him and that she's manipulative. He's going to know something's wrong. And he's going to say, I want my dad's number. But think about it. You're an internet personality. Your son's going to be able to find you on the internet and reach out. And guess what? He will listen to your side of the story. And eventually he's going to resent his mom for keeping him away from you. I have friends right now back in California. One of my best friends is going through this right now. And it was either do something drastic and go to prison because of the pain of this woman trying to take your kids from you, even though you're the best father on the earth, or you walk away and you don't see your son for a few years. And when he gets to be a teenager, he can call you and he can decide to come live with you on his own and tell his mom, fuck you. It hurts, but you gotta, that's kind of your fault. You have to understand, if you're having children with specifically Black women, they don't want the father around. They've been conditioned like this since the 70s, whether you're on welfare or not. It's just because to be on welfare and to get Section 8, you can't have a man in the house. Even if these women don't need the Section 8, they're still conditioned to think that way. It's a part of the culture. Being a father sounds corny. When you think a Black dad, you think Uncle Phil wearing a sweater. Even though he's a lawyer, there was nothing cool about him. You want your dad to be Nino Brown. You don't want your dad to be walking around with a sweater vest on and having a son named Carlton that don't look shit like him. I mean, it was not cool. And that's the thing, in the new modern era, the culture is going to have to change, but it's the men changing it. But that's the separation of church and state right there. The Black men are going in one direction. Black women are going far left to hell. Hell is not down. Hell is to the left. And that's where Black women are going. And if you choose to have children with a Black woman, then this is your fault. This is a lesson to other young men who are being, it's like it's a siren. Remember the story of the sirens? It was basically a sea creature underground, but its tentacles can take the shapes of beautiful women, and they can sing. So the story goes that sailors that were, crossing the ocean, they would hear this beautiful music and they would actually try to sail towards it. And when they get there, it'll be like an island full of gorgeous women with ass and titties, and they're naked and they're singing, and you're just mesmerized. So the boat goes to the island, but it's really just a trap. It's they're bait from this creature, and they eat you, or they consume you, and they kill you. That's you trusting a big butt and a smile. You think these women look good as fuck. Think about it. Women of other races literally go and get surgeries and go tan every day and get lip fillers because they're trying to look like these Black women, hoping to attract Black men. So the reason they're thinking, and these women know that that's what Black men are attracted to, because that's what Black women look like. We're still falling into, it's a trap. It's unfortunate, but it is a trap. So I call them sirens. And by the time the lure, by the time the high you're getting from looking at her and her beauty, by the time it wears off, she's pregnant already. Or if you're overdosed on it, you wake up and you accidentally married her in Vegas, or you're like, wait a minute. And now in a few short months, that same beautiful siren is either going to be suing you for alimony and child support, or she's going to be suing you for child support. But understand this: if you won't marry her, so she can't get you into a contract with her, and you won't get her pregnant, you're doing what Shannon Sharp did and pulling out, and she's begging for a kid. There's only 3 ways these women can keep control over you and get your resources: either through a bad marriage contract, child support, and if those 2 fail, she's going to accuse you of abuse. That's what happened with DDG. Now that she wants custody of the kid so that she can get money, and she doesn't have to let him see him, and she knows he loves his kid, she has to accuse him of abuse. Look at Shannon Sharp. She's begging for a baby from him. Why would you be begging for a baby from a man that you say is abusive? Look at Cassie. If he raped you, why would you go back over there and start and keep having sex with him? Well, that means the time wasn't great. Matter of fact, did you ever tell Diddy that he raped you? Did Diddy know that that was rape? Because you were blowing him, you were riding him too, Was he aware that you're going to go back and say that he raped you that time, but not the next time or the next time? You know, I'm watching this Cassie case like everybody else. Everybody's pretending they never heard of a woman with an extremely high sex drive. Most people have never had one. I have. You don't know what it's like to try to keep up with a woman who has a higher sex drive than a man. Because women like that are just like men with a high sex drive. I'm one of those men, right? So because I have a high sex drive, I like girls that like girls. So if it's me, then there's 3 or 4 other girls there. I'm smashing everybody. That's me. That's Rico. You know, I'm the single boyfriend. That's what I do. You know, I do what I do. But what about when there's a woman, since men and women are equal, there's a woman that's the same as you, except there's a twist. She doesn't want a bunch of girls. She wants a bunch of men. What do? She's like, yeah, I'll give you your orgy with a bunch of girls, but you got to do something for me too. I have a fantasy. And you're like, really, baby? You thinking her fantasy is, you know, you guys go to Red Lobster and then you go home and you put, you know, what is it called? You know, you guys put what is that stuff you spray out of a can on each other? It's like you put on a pie. Whipped cream. You thinking it's gonna be something like that? And she's like, no. I want to have a foursome too. And you're like, really? Well, shit. You got a homegirl or you got some girls in mind? She's like, girls. No. I want you to bring 3 of your friends and let's have a real party. I've been through that before. I understand right now Diddy's a victim. Yeah, little Cassie turned Diddy out. Think about it. If you're in the other room smashing a male prostitute, but you have to, after the man finishes in you, you scoop it out, but you have to walk into another room where Diddy's laying in the bed, eyes wide open, listening to you get pounded. You think Diddy liked it? What if Diddy didn't like that? But he's a hostage because if he tells her no to her fantasy, then he looks weak and he looks insecure. A woman could come in the room and tell you, yeah, I had sex with that guy right there. And you're like, why are you over there talking to a man you used to have sex with? You know what she's going to tell you? Why are you so insecure? I'm insecure because you shouldn't be talking to another dude while we're out together. You shouldn't be sparking conversations with men you used to fuck. I'm insecure now. So imagine if Diddy would have told her no. What Diddy did was what I did. I said, well, look, I don't want this girl who I know is into group sex with multiple men. That's her fantasy. That's what she's into. I don't want her to go cheat on me behind my back. So what I'll do is this. I know some guys, I got girlfriends. Maybe we can switch off. So when you're in a situation like that, and I'm like, okay, I got a few friends. So you're thinking, okay, I got a few friends. Hey, Bake. I got a few friends. Okay, let's put it together. But you got to think about it. This same woman told me, you know what, let's go on a trip. I'm like, okay, let's go somewhere. She's like, yeah, let's go to Jamaica. I'm like, damn, that's kind of specific. We're in California. Why not Mexico? Why not Cabo? Or why not Cancun? And she's like, well, there's something I want to go to. It's called hedonism. This woman that I used to be with was literally a dark-skinned version of Cassie. Cassie got a sex drive like that. If you're looking at it, it seems like Diddy was literally fighting with her. They were hitting each other. They were beating on each other. They're toxic. It's 2 toxic motherfuckers. But it seems like every time Diddy went off on somebody was over her because he was afraid that she was going to cheat. And these guys were going to put those orgies together for her instead of him. So guess what he did? He paid men to be there so that way she wouldn't have to go behind his back. I know that's what Diddy did because I was in that same situation too. You're worried about keeping your woman happy. You want to keep her satisfied. And she's top-notch beautiful. So if you and her break up, another one of your industry enemies, because you know how it works in the industry, your enemies are waiting to pounce on your ex. Look what 50 Cent did with Rick Ross's ex. Look what Drake did with all these niggas bitches. NBA players and other rappers are literally having a like a trauma bonding session on a stage in Inglewood, dancing to the same song 8 times in a row. All because some light-skinned Canadian dude fucked every one of their girlfriends, wives, baby mamas. And he'll fly them out for a couple of days to the 66666. Get them a bag, wear their ass out, take them to dinner, let them meet Chubbs, maybe Chubb knock it out too. And then he sends them home to you. And she don't even tell you. You find out later on accident because one of her girlfriends mentioned it because she trying to holler at you too. So Diddy's in a bad situation. He got this bad, beautiful young chick that got this extreme sex drive. He don't know what to do. So he's like, look, I'll facilitate it. Instead of her going behind my back to do it, I'll put it together, rent the hotel room, this and this. Bro, I'm watching the story and I'm like, why would she have to let a man finish in her in one room? She got to scoop it out of herself and go in the other room and rub it on Diddy's nipples. I was like, it sounds like to me, she was basically trying to involve Diddy in some shit that he didn't really want to be involved in. Because if Diddy was gay and Diddy was into the men, why didn't Diddy just let the male escort come bust on his chest himself? I mean, if you're really into that shit, if you're into the man and you want the semen everywhere, why you didn't just tell that nigga, hey man, come over here, shoot that on my chest, daddy. Yeah, daddy, take that. I want to take that, daddy. You know, start talking like Puff. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you like that? And just let that nigga, he would have just bust on Puffy's chest his damn self. But he didn't. Matter of fact, out of all the testimony, I ain't heard about her saying Puffy was rubbing baby oil on no niggas' cheeks, cakes, nothing. He wasn't mashing mustaches, kissing niggas, nothing. It seemed like he's a fly on the wall because he just wanted to make sure not one of his rap friends or some random niggas was going to be fucking her because he knows that when she drinks or when she gets high, she turns into a super freak with an extremely high sex drive. And he's trying to figure out how to contain it. Then Drake come around, then Kid Cudi, and then this nigga and that nigga. And he's like, fuck, I'm putting orgies together for you. You need more niggas? How many more? Do you know how frustrating that has to be? When the woman you think you're in love with, you find out she's a fucking hoe. It's the most frustrating thing in the world, bro. I've been there. I've been in Diddy's shoes. No Diddy. I've been there before. No Diddy. I've been there. And you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because if you look weak and insecure, when she leaves you, she can tell everybody how weak and insecure you were. And guess what? Kid Cudi gonna have 3 or 4 dudes in there smacking that ass up and down, and he gonna make videos and he's gonna laugh because he got the king's queen. Because for 10 years, she was on this nigga's side. So every time one of these niggas was able to smash Cassie behind Diddy's back, you know, apparently that's what him and Drake got into that fight over because Drake was fucking with Cassie. He provides all these different niggas, any one of her, all of the fantasies that she wants. And you notice it, she never said Diddy is pissing in my mouth. She said she asked the escort nigga to piss in her mouth, not Diddy. How the fuck is Diddy the bad guy here? If anything, she was trafficking Diddy. If anything, she turned Diddy out. She's bringing Diddy the nut and rubbing it on him, basically like, come on, but now you're a part of it. Come on, come over here. And Diddy's over there like, nah, I'm just, you know, that nigga dick don't work, man. He's turned off looking at his girl fuck other dudes. But what do you do when that's what she's into? I'm not hearing no stories that Cassie has a love for eating vagina. I'm in this space, bro. I talk about it. You know, I like the freaky shit. So I like girls who like girls. Most of the girls I date with, they're like, Rico, I love vagina. I barely like niggas. You're the only nigga I like. And I only kind of like you. I get that. If I was a girl, I only kind of like Rico too. She likes me. So she's like, yeah, I like girls. So bring the girls. I eat pussy. I haven't heard one testimony of Cassie going deep sea diving, eating vagina, fucking girls, because you know why? She's not into girls. Just like my ex. My ex was like, you know what? I'll do it with you. But really, the fun don't start until there's 3 or 4 other men here. I said, well, then the fun ain't gonna start. But then you got to realize there's 2 ways women, if you know women, then you know it's true. There's 2 ways women are going to do something. That's with you or without you. He didn't want it to be without him, especially now that everybody in the scene her with him in public. It's embarrassing. The number one thing men are worried about at all times is being seen with certain women because those women will fucking embarrass us. You'll be claiming her, she'll be holding your hand. 3 months later, she's doing some bum dude, and it's just like, it's embarrassing because it comes back to me. They find out you used to be a 304 in Kentucky. Your pimp is on the internet talking about, yeah, that nigga girl. Now you're embarrassing me and my brand and my name. So you're trying to, like, I'll facilitate it so you don't do something that's going to eventually make me look bad. And now that same woman, and even after all that, she still cheated on that nigga again with his own personal trainer, who also had been working for Diddy for years. Everybody I know who has an employer, they hate their boss, especially if you got an arrogant, cocky, black ass boss like a Diddy who made niggas walk to Queens to get a cheesecake for Beyonce. I'd hate that motherfucker too. This guy, Alex Fine, lined up Diddy, and he used Cassie to take them down. This is all Alex Fine's brainchild. This is the mastermind. I thought it was all the Democrats, but it's not. I knew it wasn't when Alex Fine walked out of that courtroom pretending like he had not already heard the stories of her being a toilet. He knew all that, but he needed that money. And he knew that lawsuit. He's a white dude. He know what a lawsuit is. And he moved them to California on purpose, because now that the lawsuit's over and Cassie gave that testimony, he can use that testimony when it's time to divorce her later this year. And that testimony is her admitting that she's an unfit mother. So he's going to get half of the rest of that settlement. So she got about 13 million. Half of that's going to put him and her about 6 million apiece after expenses. Plus he's going to get about 30,000 a month in child support because he's going to be granted full custody. It's going to be similar to what happened to Halle Berry or to Britney Spears when they've had to pay child support to the father of their children. Now, because he walked out of that courtroom with glasses on looking like he's hurt, he's the victim. Cassie don't even know it, but she burnt herself, because once she's done with this divorce, what man is going to hold her hand and bring her in front of his family in the world and profess his love to her and be kissing her down, knowing she was gargling urine? And nobody knows if the guys were eating okra or asparagus. Nobody, I didn't ask. No one knew the diet of these men. But I like to imagine it was asparagus and steak before the freak off. I'm just gargling that shit up. But you got to get your greens, I guess, but who knows, man. So Diddy's in between a Hark and Raw place. So, and Diddy, and then Cassie's considered a black woman. Cassie's not no snow bunny. She's not even a ginger. They're saying the gingers are black now, I guess. I did see some good-looking ginger women now. I don't know. They're starting to pop out everywhere. I'm like, damn, it's a lot of gingers. I never noticed all these gingers. But you got to be careful with them, too, because if the gingers are black now, then shit, you got to put them on that, got to put them on the do not disturb list, too, unless you want to get in trouble. Because it just seems like with certain women, nothing works out and everything goes downhill if you're a man and you work or you got any money or any success. Let's see here. What's another, what else made the black women stock nosedive this week? Let's see here. Young scooter caller arrested. A black woman that called the police to make a false 911 report saying that women were being sex trafficked and beaten at this man's house. The police show up. He thinks they're there for something else. He runs, tries to jump over a fence, and apparently impales himself, and he ends up bleeding out and passing away because a bitter, angry black woman. Now, this woman was on the phone with the police, and she did something called swatting. Swatting is when you pretend that there's a hostage situation or something going on really bad so that the police will show up in SWAT gear and on high alert. And when they do that, they do accidentally kill people. So this is attempted murder. They're charging her with making a false 911 call, but I don't think that's even a felony. I think that's a misdemeanor. So that's why she was probably released on OR. They're not going to, this is going to be a slap on the wrist. For one thing, she's a woman. For two, making a false 911 call is a misdemeanor. But see, they should upgrade this to attempted murder because it's actually a term called swatting. People die when you start swatting. And that's a shame. So this is a black woman. This isn't a young white girl like the one from Shannon Sharp. This is a full-grown black woman. Myron would call her a watermelon warrior. I think it would apply. I think it's fair for what you did. You can get called some derogatory names. Besides, names don't hurt. Violence hurt. What she did was she caused violence on a black man. You know, people want to make it seem like these black dudes are so horrible. It's the fucking women. These dudes are in jail trying to impress black women. Black women say, yeah, I need a nigga that sell dope. You ever watch them on these shows? I don't want a man with a job. I don't want a man that got an education. I want a nigga that hustle. I want a hood nigga. I want a nigga that sell. And guess what? These dudes here, they hear this shit and their whole, and as a man, your goal in life is just to get women. That's how it is for a man. I don't care what nobody else says. Even your kids come from women. Oh, I'm about my kids. Your kids come from a woman too, motherfucker. And these men do what they think black women want to see them do. So men go out and they shoot at places. They jump on people. They do all this crazy shit to act hard, hoping that it will attract black women. And that's why all these black women got kids by niggas who are dead or in jail and there's no father. And then they hit the wall around 33, 34. And she's like, where are all the good men at? You should be willing to take care of my kid. If you tell me, you know, if you're saying you're the prize and you don't want to take care of my kid, they're a liability and I lose value because I got 5 baby daddies, then maybe you're just gay. That's why I said the black woman's stock is plummeting because people see through them now. They know it's a scam. It's a siren. It looks great on the outside, but on the inside, it's fucked. And they'll come at me. Oh, well, you're not black and you're not this and you're not that. That don't mean shit. I can still judge and make my own assessment. I can still have an opinion. I don't need to be from a certain background to have an opinion, motherfucker. We live in the same country. I know exactly. I can see what's going on with you. I don't got to be in the toilet with you to know it's a bunch of shit in there. I can see that from outside the bathroom, my nigga. There's a bunch of shit in the toilet. It's not like it's hidden. So again, these black women are on a rampage right now and they must be stopped. And I don't think you can stop them. They went too long not being in control, not having anybody to stop them or tell them anything. They won't listen to anybody. And because they're a woman, they're treated like women. They're not, you know, how are men and women equal, but yet in a divorce, women are still granted stuff they didn't earn? Or if a man and a woman commit the same crime, a man is sentenced 60% higher than the woman. They let women off with a smack on the wrist. Like this, it's bullshit. Until society treats men and women the same, and then we'll never be equal. Alimony is one thing, and child support show us that we're not equal. Now, when women have true equality, child support and alimony will be abolished because you have agency over yourself. You can drive, you can work, you can vote. Well, then you don't need child support. It doesn't make sense. You're an autonomous person. If you don't have money when you guys break up, then you can go get a fucking job. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of having freedom.
Student, the house, literally the neighbors next door, the house of the address that I just gave you, the 273. There is literally a whole domestic dispute going on. There's like 7 guys that live in this house. And then, I'm sorry, what is my name? Okay. Tell me exactly what happened. Okay, so I'm the neighborhood watch.
This goofy ass black bitch says, I'm neighborhood watch, lying to these people, saying there's 10 guys in there. There's 7 guys live at this house. There's a domestic dispute. The girl is naked and she's underage. She's being beaten with a gun and he's just dragging her all around the front yard. Police need to hurry up and get here with their guns out. These guys are armed. They sell dope. This woman was trying to get SWAT team to use a drone to fucking firebomb these people's house. These men were innocent. There was nothing found on them. They were just black men, and she was mad that the man was having a get-together, and because they broke up, she was no longer invited. So what'd she do? She did the same thing that one white chick did to Chris Brown. When she couldn't get into the party at his house, She called the police and said somebody tried to rape her at the party she couldn't get into. Did she serve any jail time for making that accusation against Chris Brown? No, she didn't. No, she did not. Is this woman being held accountable? She's arrested, but is she being charged with involuntary manslaughter? She is not. You know, Scooter was a hell of a rapper, very successful. A lot of us remember him rapping with Gucci and with the Juice Man. I mean, those are some bomb years, and we know he's an Atlanta native. To hear about him dying over something so fucking trivial, but think about it. All these dudes, when they're out here killing each other, they're really killing each other. They're beefing over females. People think it's over money, it's over rap. Even the rap beef, it's over females. I thought Drake and Diddy fought over a song. Nah, they fought over Cassie. All the problems that men are having are behind these fucking women. We have to do better. We have to. That's why a lot of dudes are getting passports and going to other countries and starting families there and just leaving these American women alone. That's it. You got to leave them alone. Do me a favor. Like and subscribe. I'm building up my followers on YouTube and Instagram. So the single boyfriend on YouTube or right-wing Rico. Follow my pages. I'll be back on in about 20 minutes. I have another topic. We're going to go over Derek Chauvin being pardoned. And why he should be pardoned. He shouldn't have been in there in the first place. You know, I'm from a city where we don't have police anymore because they're too afraid to do their jobs. But we'll be back shortly. Thank you.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.